All right, Vinny, I'm going to share with you sneak peeks from the upcoming book. It launches July 13th, and it's about where we go after digital transformation. I'm going to start with this comment here, where digital transformation is not enough. And the reason I want to leave you with this is because I've been talking about digital transformation since 2010. And the point being was the fact that we needed to build digital business models. It was more than a digital channel. Uh, at this point in time, after looking at this for probably 10, 11 years into this, I would say digital transformation is not enough, mostly because you see companies like a Domino's Pizza succeed, win the battle for digital transformation. Think about it. You can order the pizza on a wonderful mobile app. It can track when the pizza has been put into the oven, when it's coming out of the oven, like how many minutes it's going to be to your door. You can even take a picture with of the pizza, send it back to Domino's, and boom, the AI bot will figure out and tell you if the pizza, what kind of quality it was. They won. They won the battle. But here's the problem. We're playing different games. Domino's has tons and tons of stores. It's got tons and tons of equipment and drivers to make all this happen. But guess what? I can do DoorDash, Postmates, Swiggy, and basically do that with a ghost kitchen and crush Domino's. Now, why is that? Well, you order pizza maybe once a week. You order other things multiple times throughout the week. And that's the challenge. These companies can basically take out a restaurant, take back customer control from the restaurant. More importantly, they're taking the data that they're gleaning from here to figure out which categories to go after over time. And of course, they're creating new monetization models along the way. But most importantly, they can lose hundreds of millions while trying to gain market share, and not a single investor will break a sweat. If Domino's tried to do that, they'd be all over them. There's a new category of companies that are out there. And what we do is we call them digital giants. These digital giants are basically wreaking havoc in the market. We think that there's going to be 100 companies in 50 markets by 2050 in every major market. This collapsing of industries into value chains is happening as we speak.
And who are going to be those digital giants?
Well, the digital giants all actually have some interesting characteristics. And so, for example, a digital giant that is successful basically knows that they're competing for what we call decision velocity. Machines make decisions 1,000 times per second. Humans are lucky to make a decision per second. And more importantly, it takes us about 6 weeks to get it out of management committee if we're lucky. That asymmetry is really what we're competing against in the long run, companies that know how to build these 100-year platforms that we call data-driven digital networks. Example, who might be a winner in this kind of conversation? Let's say more than the Amazons and the Googles out there. It's going to be companies like an Airbnb, or a company like a DoorDash, or a company like a Roblox, or a company that is like a Coinbase, because what they're doing is they're creating brand new markets, and they're basically taking back customer control. In some cases, they're ripping customer account control from their partners.
Most of your examples are B2C examples, right? Is the same thing happening in the big, ugly, hairy industrial markets?
The same thing is happening in the industrial markets, and we're seeing that happen with companies that are doing anything from asset management, buildings, real estate. We're seeing that actually happen in industrials that are coming into that space. We're seeing how people manage those types of assets over time. So yes, it is definitely happening on the B2B side. I have to be a little bit more careful because we're trying to apply those examples to clients right now.
Well, this is intriguing, right? So is this a how-to book or more of a kind of a summary of what you've seen in the last few years?
This is definitely a combination of we see the trends, we are sounding the alarm to companies, and more importantly, we're showing them how to go build this going forward. Part of it is only a small group of companies will ever build their own digital giant. The rest will actually partner to be able to deliver on that. And then there's a third part to the book that's really important, because Look, I'm a free market capitalist. I believe in capitalism. I believe in, companies should be able to succeed. But when we don't have regulatory frameworks that keep up with how the rules are changing, we have to think about how to actually build the right types of regulations to continue that level of innovation. Otherwise, we're going to have two-tier systems where we have large digital giants and we have very, very small players that are at the mercy of the marketplaces that these digital giants create. And that's going to create a lot of trouble in terms of future levels of innovation.
So are you getting into the policy issues then around duopolies and so on, or is it more of
We
a,
definitely do. We talk about duopolies and policies and what happens. We talk about the rise of, digital giants all the way down to the dawn of digital giants where their assets and IP become common infrastructure, just like the wheel, just like fire, just like electricity. There's no patents on those. We will see that kind of cycle occur.
wow, fantastic. So just a few weeks to go. I'm looking forward to my advanced copy, Ray.
You will get one, and it's going to be exciting. We're really looking forward to sharing that with folks. And more importantly, here's what's interesting about this book. It is actually going to be delivered in physical copy. I'm just kidding.
Well, that's
So,
what happens when you go with a traditional publisher.
no. On a serious note, right? What we actually think is in books like this, we actually see physical copies outsell digital. And it happened the same thing with the book, with my previous book, Disrupting Digital Business. It was something like almost like a 20-to-1 ratio of physical copies to digital copies. So I don't know. So
75% of my books are sold on paper.
yeah, can you believe this? I mean, you'd think this would be different.
Well,
So
Ray, I mean, you and I sell a lot of copies to people who buy in bulk, right? They want to hand
yes.
out and so on. It's a lot easier to hand out physical copies. A lot easier to get Ray Wang's signature on a physical book. You can't do that on a Kindle, right? So
You can, but then I'll be fleeced. But yeah.
well, Ray, you'd have to come back when the book is launched and tell us some more. Tell us about the reception and how many giants you've created.
Hey, thanks a lot, Vinny. And hey, thanks and continued success to your series.
Thank you.